What's up, everybody? It's Philip Randolph, and it's 10 Minutes to Vent. And today we're going to be talking about something that I'm not going to say everybody can relate to, but the people that it needs to relate to, the people that this particular podcast needs to reach, you will definitely know exactly what I'm talking about. And today we're talking about life of a preacher's kid, okay? And we'll just label this part one because I can definitely have different guests come on the show, and we can talk about the subject like for hours and days and years because I have so many stories. But life of a preacher's kid, aka PK, and I have that tatted on me, on my forearm. And to be totally honest with you, this tattoo I literally passed out on, but that's a different story. But life of a preacher's kid. A lot of people know us by PKs, preacher kids, preacher sons, preacher's daughters, and a lot of individuals like to hold us to a higher pedestal than others. And to be quite frank, to be quite honest with you, to be totally transparent with you, we're regular people. We have a title behind our name, and that's about it. But if I was to say that's about it, I would be totally lying, because there's a lifestyle that comes with being a preacher's kid, being a preacher's child. Of course, you have to go to church all the time, right? You got to go to church, Sunday school, Bible study, vacation Bible school, afternoon services. Yes, services. Because it might not just be one. It could be one, it could be two, it could be even three. You have to go to revivals. You have to go to Bible conferences and conventions. I mean, it's a lot, guys. The church life is very overwhelming at times. But being a preacher's kid, being a preacher's child, I believe that's like the funnest part, especially when I was a child, when I was a kid, when I was a teen. A lot of stories, guys. I mean, a lot of stories. Now, as far as my case, I used to love going to the visiting churches. I used to love going to conventions. I used to love going to different conferences, especially children conferences and teen conferences. Why? Because of the girls. And in my personal opinion, I feel like some of the finest, prettiest women that you'll ever see are located in the church, guys. Now, I'm not saying the nicest, but the prettiest, some of the most voluptuous, petite. I mean, so many different varieties. Whenever you go to the church, guys, you're going to see somebody of your particular taste, okay? And especially if they're consistent with going to church every single Sunday, and they're going to Bible study, Sunday school. They're going to all these different biblical events, right? And church events. You definitely have a potential. You have a possible on your hands, right? Of a match. I love a God-fearing woman. I love a praying woman. I love beautiful women, period. But if she loves God, she's in the church, that just gives me chills. And it always have given me chills because I was raised in the church. I've done a lot of different things with these females, with different females in the church, not directly in the church, but in a church atmosphere. My first kiss was in the church. My first girlfriend in the church. I got some dome on the back of the church bus, guys. I ain't even gonna lie. But that's a different story. Please don't tell my mama. She might end up seeing this, but I ain't gonna lie, I do remember that. Guys, it's a lot of things that's happened when I was younger. Like, just thinking about the memories, I get excited because Sometimes I wish I could turn the hands back in time and go back. It's just so fun being a preacher's kid. Now, what I don't like about being a preacher's kid is like sometimes I'm ready to go home. So those afternoon services, I can't wait for them to end because I want to watch something on TV. And if it's on Sunday, I don't have that much time because I'm on a schedule. So as soon as we get back to the house, it's like we only have one TV. We only had one TV at the time. So, you know, more than likely we wasn't gonna be able to watch TV. My dad turned to whatever he want to watch, and we gotta watch that. And then after that, after our little snack, we go to bed. We really didn't have a Sunday. We didn't have a Sunday just to chill out and relax. That's something I didn't like about it. The older I got, I wanted to hang around my friends, which really weren't in the church, and I had to go to these church events. That used to bother me, especially when I used to play basketball. Yeah, like I had to go to the church function first, and then I could go to the basketball function. That would be a little eerie. Sometimes I wanted to go on dates with my girlfriend, and I couldn't do that because why? There was a church events. Now I have to be honest. My girlfriend, when I was in high school, right? She did come to my church. She came. She came quite often too. Which was very exciting. She would come to the house every now and then. But like I say, life of a preacher kid. Like when you a preacher kid, your parents hold you to a higher standard, and the people you choose to date. So it was like my mom. She did not play, and she still to this day doesn't play about me. Of course, because she wants me to be with somebody that's going to motivate me, that's going to push me to a higher level. She doesn't want me to be with anybody who's going to distract me or to get me off track or to put me in a rut or a funk. And of course, that's what a mother is supposed to do. You know why? Because she's a woman. She knows ladies. Just like me, I know men. So because I am one, and if I have a daughter, I'm going to let her know. It's like you need to know who to pick and what not to pick. Okay. But like I say, that's a different story. Another thing I used to love about being a preacher's kid, getting money. Guys, I'm talking about when I was little, all the way up to the teens. Like my mom and my dad's friends, they would give us money so much. Birthdays, just randomly, just going to church sometimes. When we graduated from high school, Christmases, guys, we would get so much money. And when I think about it now, I was just talking to my son. I wish I would have saved a lot of that money because I blew a lot of that money just on stupid stuff, But life of a PK, guys, I just love it. Like, I used to love just going to church and literally just watching the pretty girls. Like the girls, oh my God. Guys, we can talk about that separate. It's just so much, but that was that motivated me to make sure that I was on top of my business. I just had to make sure I was coming correct. I made sure that my outfit was looking good. I smelled good. I had breath mints, oil, just making sure that I looked the part. Why? Because I did want to impress these pretty girls. All right. Like I say, life of a life of a PK part 1, preacher's kid. If you're a preacher's kid, go ahead and leave a comment below right now of your most memorable moment. And we're going to make this a series because I got so many stories. And next time, I'm probably going to tell you a story about life of a PK, when I did this or when this happened. But I'm not going to talk your head off. It's Philip Randolph. It's been 10 Minutes to Vent. Today we've been talking about life of a preacher's kid, part 1. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. And until the next time,